Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are joining us today. We're so happy to have you listening to our program. And I'm Susan Mount. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a healthcare professional, a freedom lover, a human rights activist. And I'm being joined by two of my fellow activists today, Mr. Uzer Articles, an Israeli Biafran and co-author of the book, Truth Behind the Nation of Biafra, and also author of Uzer Articles, also a human rights activist and freedom lover. I'm also joined by Miss Savvy from Poland, and she is a music artist, human rights activist, and a freedom lover as well. So we welcome you all to our program today. We plan on showing support for Biafrans today, as well as discussing ongoing issues facing the Biafran people and freedom lovers trapped in the contraption called Nigeria. With that, I would like all of us to explain how we learned about Biafra and how we came about fighting for Biafra, including myself. And we'll start with you, Mr. Uzer.
Thank you, my fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom. I learned about Biafra through my grandfather because I grew up seeing Biafra, and like the articles and everything in my house is all about Biafra. So I started digging deep. I just want to know what's happening over there. So my grandfather now told me how they went to war and everything, and in America right there, how because he was one of the people that organized the first rally over there in New York. So I started digging deep, and I love reading. So I went through all the archives and I learned a lot about Biafra. That's what motivated me to put that book together, and with the contact of UK area from Biafra land, because it's not gonna be I don't want it to be like someone from outside writing the whole thing. So I need someone who is inside to help me grab the fact on the ground. So I put it together there for the world to see what's happening over there in Biafra land and what happened and the history they denied my Biafran people. So that's how I got to know about Biafra. Thank you.
Okay, that's awesome. And Miss Savvy, we know you're a music artist from Poland. And how did you learn about Biafra, and how did you end up using your music to help the people of Biafra with their freedom?
Okay, so my story is it's a little bit, actually it started I think about 10 years ago, but speaking about Biafra, then my adventure with Biafra started because of my husband, and I learned through him about Biafra even before we got married. And after we got married, I became even more and more fascinated because I got much closer to the culture and to the history. And we were also discovering my Polish roots and our Polish history, and I realized there's a lot of similarities, which it was very fascinating and made me really relate to the history of Biafra as a Polish person.
Wow, that is interesting. You have been knowing about Biafra for 10 years. I'm kind of a baby to learning about Biafra. I learned through Biafra I started studying why immigrants were traveling and migrating from African countries in mass numbers and going through Libya and crossing the Mediterranean into Italy. And I actually started helping an immigrant there. And it led me to Nigerian Christians, which led me to Biafrans. So that's how I started learning about Biafra. And then I started seeing the Biafrans posting everything online through social media. And I was like, I gotta speak up. I can't, there's horrendous videos, and I gotta speak up about this whole happening to these good people. So that's how I learned about Biafra. So that is really interesting. I kind of wanted to do a brief history of Biafra and Nigeria, and you both can kind of join in with me if you need to add something. I'm losing my internet a little bit. Can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Yeah, I
We're
can hear
having
you.
a little technical difficulties here and there, but we're going to keep moving. I want to do a brief history about Biafra in Nigeria, and you guys are welcome to join in the conversation. We're going to kind of make this a conversation. So when I studied Nigeria, I studied why the Fulanis are doing what they're doing, the terrorists, Fulanis, and Boko Haram. So I started studying them both. In my studies, I learned that the Usman Fodio, who was traveled to northern Nigeria, which Nigeria was kind of broken up into different regions before Nigeria was put together, and the Hausa tribe was in that area, and they invited clerics and scholars to Hausa land. And then by then, a jihad was formed in the 1800s, and they assembled an Islamic army and took over the Hausa people, basically colonized them. And then from there, I learned about Lord Lugard, who basically the British, the UK colonized the Fulani first, and then used the Fulani to colonize the rest of Nigeria. And in my studies, I learned that Biafrans put up the biggest fight against this Islamization in the 1800s. So I found that to be very interesting. So I just kind of wanted to give a little brief history. So before Nigeria was created, because Nigeria is still a fairly new country, it was created in 1914, or I cannot pronounce it, amalgamation in 1914 by Lugard. And so from then, I learned basically that the British had economic wants and desires that came out of Biafra. They wanted the oil and access to all of the resources. So that's where they kind of moved from the north to south to colonize the Biafrans. And the Biafrans put up the biggest fight. So obviously, the UK from back in history up until now has really supported the North and the Fulanis. And I don't know if you guys want to add something to that, what you learned about the history of Nigeria.
Yeah, actually,
Well,
Nigeria is not a, yeah, it's just a contraption that the British they just put them together to for their own selfish interests. It's just a Royal Niger company that existed between 1879 to 1900. So these are the people that have different culture, different way of life. So they just like force them together because of what they are gaining, and they now had to muzzle like they shuffle around the tribes there. They watch to know the weakest tribe, and they made them edge over other tribe. That's how they picked the Fulani to be the one, so that the Fulani will just be giving them incentives about what is happening. If you watch out, Fulanis are the people that they abhor development. These people are nomadic. They don't have anything to offer to their country. So the British people just programmed them there to decimate Nigeria. They govern Nigeria from from Britain. So everything that's happening in Nigeria is being institutionalized in the UK. So Nigeria is just mere existing. It's not a country. It's a contraction put together to fulfill the wish of the British people. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Savvy, did you want to add something?
yes, I just wanted to add briefly, that actually 10 years ago, I didn't actually know about Biafra, but I had a lot of friends who were Igbos and they told me about Boko Haram. And that was the first thing I found out about, that human rights are being just really violated in Nigeria. And I actually learned about Biafra not that long ago, and I'm discovering more and more fascinating things about Biafra and Biafran, and especially also the aspect of religion. It's really fascinating and very interesting, and also very inspiring.
Yes. And just to piggyback off of what Uzer was saying, obviously Lugard and the UK put the different tribes together or forced them together. Sorry, my computer is acting up. Can you hear me all?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. So I wanted to piggyback off what you were saying, Uzer, that it was true. None of the native tribes that was residing in the land that they call Nigeria, but we know it's not a country. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of those native people that native to those lands, their ancestors did not even have a hand or a decision of being part of Nigeria. It was strictly the UK that forced this upon them. And I kind of saw the other tribes kind of give in to the UK, but in my studies of Biafra, they put up the biggest fight back during the colonial periods, during the colonization. So I wanted to fast forward from the colonization of Nigeria and up until the Biafran War. And I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on the Biafran War. So basically, through my studies, I kind of studied the Biafran War and what led up to it, because Nigeria has a huge history of history repeating itself. Basically, we all know that time and time again it doesn't work throwing everybody together, because they have different cultures, they have different beliefs, they have different ways of life as far as wanting to progress versus not wanting to progress. The Biafrans are very democratic people. They love democracy, and they love to make things successful. Okay. And maybe like the Northern culture, they don't really believe in Western education. They don't believe in, they were more of a farming and whatnot. So by throwing all of these people together for the selfish desires of the British government, they caused a whole snowball effect, as you will, of history repeating itself over and over and over. And right now, today, we see it with the Nigerian government. But if you want to talk a little bit about the Biafran War, Mr. Uzer.
Yeah, the Biafran War was actually what caused the war. Is I would for me I don't call it war. This is just a genocide. This is a massacre. Because
Yes.
General Gowon and Ojukwu, they went to Ghana Aburi Accord. So they agreed on restructuring, because the thing has been happening, and Ojukwu saw what was happening and noticed that they can't be living together in denial. So he suggested that he actually wrote the whole thing down to restructure Nigeria. So they went to Aburi Accord, and the Goan agreed on the whole thing they discussed there. So he came back. They came back to Nigeria for them to implement the whole thing. And the British rank Goan, he shouldn't agree on what they already stated there in Aburi Accord. So he said he's not gonna implement the whole thing. So then Ojukwu had no choice than to declare the state of Biafra. And they came and started fighting, killing Biafrans. The Biafrans were just on the protective side. They were just defending themselves, and they keep coming and killing Biafrans. So Biafra had they had to start producing guns to defend themselves. And the Biafra fought the world, not even Nigeria. Nigeria got nothing to offer. Nigeria cannot even do anything against the Biafra. Biafra got everything. This Biafra you see, they are the people that introduced democracy to this war, into this war. So it wasn't a war; it was pure genocide. So that's what happened. That's how they killed over 5 million Biafra, still counting. And nobody they removed in archive. They don't even want people to know the truth. That's why I put together in that book the whole thing that happened. The whole thing they swept on that carpet so that people will see the whole thing. This book you see here is a dictionary. This book you see here is going to open your eyes for you to understand how they create that contraction, the contraction that kill people. Nigeria is a den of evil. Nigeria is meant to kill talent. Nigeria is a dead zone. So this contraption needs to end for people to live. And they all know that. You see how they die? They keep living in denial. One thing about the truth, you
Yes.
can't bury the truth. And if you like bury the truth, 1 million years is going to spring up. So it is time to say the truth and separate them to go their own ways and let them live a brief of life. Because if you keep keeping people together there, nobody was consulted when they formed the contraction. So that's the thing that is happening here. The truth must be said. And we are here to tell the world what is happening over there. They can't hide the truth forever. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. And would you like to add something, Miss Savvy?
Yes, I would like to add that we also have plenty of example here, for example, in Europe and in my neighboring countries, where also they try to put different nations together, and it never works because people, they know who they are and they want to be able to live according to their values.
And I've often wondered why the terrorists, I call them terrorists, the Fulani jihadis, I often wonder why they want to keep Nigeria one. You know what I mean? And in my thought process, I was like, maybe it's because they know if the Biafrans get separated, they're going to take off, like economically, business wise, having a democracy. And it's almost like they don't want that. And another thing, I truly feel, as an international supporter of Biafrans, I truly feel that they want to wipe the Biafrans off the map. And so I want to fast forward a little bit from the Biafran War up until present day and the Nigerian government. So I've been outspoken a lot about the Nigerian government sponsoring terrorists. It comes from their own mouths. It comes from their own military leaders' mouths. You got Operation Safe Corridor. Operation Safe Corridor was put into place by the Nigerian government to forgive terrorist crimes. So very rarely you'll see a terrorist in a cell filled full of men like sardines with no food or water, like the normal prisons in Nigeria are, very inhumane. You won't see any Fulani jihadis or any Boko Haram in those prisons. But yet you see all kinds of Biafrans all around Nigeria and Biafra land put in for no reason, no due process. You know, they get accused of crimes that they didn't commit, but yet they don't get to get a lawyer or go in front of a judge. They're just thrown in a prison cell and left there to die, to either starve to death or being tortured by the police. But I want to talk about how the Nigerian government is sponsoring terrorists and allowing terrorists to come back into the community, and how the terrorists are allowed to join the military. And I need people to understand how the military and police is compromised with terrorists. Can we discuss a little further regarding this?
Yeah, just as you see someone working with Nigerian government called Gomi. This guy is the one that negotiated with the federal government of Nigeria pay the guy money to actually go to the bush and give these guys money. And mind you, these are the people that refuse to negotiate with IPOB, the people that say they want their freedom. The only thing they did, they just sent the army to go there to shoot them. Yet, these are the same people. They said these people are repentant Boko Haram. Repentant Boko Haram, you put them in the army, you put them in the place to secure what? And these are the people, nobody even tried to scrutinize what is happening over there. Nothing, everything is just left open. And these people are busy killing people, and the federal government of Nigeria are busy backing them. Even all the police in Nigeria, the police, the forces, even the army, they are all Boko Haram members, killing people. They don't even want other tribes to say anything. Not only Biafran, they even kill the Oduduwas. This is what's happening in Nigeria. You can't imagine the little girl, Le Shaibo, is still in captivity till today. They say they don't know where she is, but could you imagine that each time she gives birth, they say it in the news. How are they getting the information? But this is saying, Gumi, do go to the bush to negotiate with these people, give them money, and you see them, all the armorers, all the weapon they bought from America to fight the Boko Haram, they're sending it in the east where there's peace. They're sending it to Biafran to keep Biafran. Why is happening over there in the north? And let me tell you why they don't want Biafra to go. Because their land, they got nothing in their land. They got dry land. All the mineral resources they suck is from Biafra land. The oil from Biafra land, all the coal, everything is in Biafra land. Biafra land is so blessed. So they know that once Biafra move out from that country, the country will just collapse. So that's why they're doing all possible way to hold Nigeria. It's not to hold Biafra into Nigeria. It's not that they love Biafra. They don't love Biafra. They want Biafra to all of them to die off just because of the mineral resources. That's why they try to keep Nigeria together, keep them together as one Nigeria. Because once Biafra leave that contraction, Nigeria will just fail automatically. That's it.
Okay. And just to touch upon this Gumi, this Sheikh Gumi. So for people who don't know who Gumi is, he is a terrorist sponsor. He is paid by the Nigerian government to go and negotiate with terrorists that have kidnapped people, taking money, Nigerian money, to pay the terrorists. He sits with them while they're holding weapons. And the Nigerian government allows him to do this and doesn't follow him to where the terrorists are. And Gumi is actually, he actually had contact with the underwear bomber. I don't know if you heard of the underwear bomber that boarded the plane and came here to the US and had a bomb in his underwear, and the bomb did not detonate properly, and he was arrested here in the US. They actually found Gumi had contact with that terrorist, and he's free in Nigeria, and the government lets him be free, and they pay him to go and negotiate with terrorists that are holding weapons. Mind you, Biafrans in the southeast who the terrorists hate and the Nigerian government hates and tries to prescribe as terrorists themselves, who don't have any weapon. They protest peacefully. They are literally charging them with false crimes and treating them inhumane and actually torturing them and killing them. And they're not the terrorists. And it needs to stop. And that's why I speak out internationally, and I try to educate people in the international community regarding this. And there's other terrorists that the Nigerian government is sponsoring as well that actually work in the government positions. But Ms. Savvy, did you want to say something regarding this? How the Nigerian government is sponsoring terrorists?
You know, I've been wondering in general, like, why someone decides to be a terrorist and treat people in such an unhuman way and live their life like this, you know, basically to commit their life to destroy other people. And I've been really thinking about it, and I think the reasons behind someone hating other human beings, it's either those people did something bad to you, which it's not the case because Biafrans didn't do anything. And number two, either it's jealousy, which would make a lot of sense. And number three, if you were growing up in the mentality where you believe that you are supreme to other human beings, you know, and I really think this is what they believe. Maybe they believe they are just supreme to the rest of us, you know, to that their values and their value system and the way they live is just supreme to how we live and who we are. Because otherwise, why would they be doing all of these things, you know?
Yes, exactly. And I'm like you, how can people be so heartless? You know, the only thing I can think of is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Uzer.
Yeah, I need to chip in that because Westerners don't understand what's going over there because I'm from Middle East originally, so I will tell you what you guys don't know. Although I hate to pinpoint religion, If you know and understand this thing called Islam, you understand what's happening over there. They want to finalize Nigeria. Nigeria is already finalized because everything there is under Fulani captivity. Fulani is the one governing everything, and they are Muslims. And mind you, these people are from Middle East. They are not original from Africa. The only difference that they got like their skin is darker, but they have the same mission to dig the Quran in Atlantic Ocean. This is a religious war. This is a tribal war. They are all doing all these things. Mind you, the meaning of Boko Haram is meant Western education is forbidden. This is what is happening. And watch what's happening in my country. Watch what's happening in Israel. What did we do to these people? Nothing. They derive joy in killing people. They believe that once you kill, they're going to go to Al-Jannah, which means heaven. So this is what is happening over there. They force you to believe in their faith. If you don't want to believe in their faith, they chop off your head. Why Leah Shaibu was still there is because she rejected the faith. She doesn't want to change from Christianity to Muslim. That is why they are there. We need to say the truth. And the world hates truth. The world doesn't like me saying this. They keep covering them. Watch out when they start throwing bombs in Israel. Nobody want to say anything until we started giving them back, paying them back with their own coin. Everybody's telling Israel, stop, it's too much. What is wrong with this world? Why can't this world say this truth for once? Listen, one thing people don't know in this life, this world is spherical. Whatever you sow, you reap. If you are laughing at your fellow brother man that the evil is befalling him, before you know, it's going to come back to you. I can remember when this thing was happening in this country, in this contraption called Nigeria. They were busy killing the IPOB members just because they're asking for their freedom. Could you imagine all the tribes there in Nigeria are happy? Oh, kill them, Biafra, kill them, kill them. They were happy they're killing people. And I told them, you are happy that they're killing these people that did nothing? It's going to reach you. This is life. Whatever you sow, garbage in, garbage out, that's life. If you are happy that someone is dying, it's going to reach you, you're going to die soon. And mind you, if you kill by the gun, you're going to die by the gun. This is why now everybody's dying in Nigeria. I'm still opening my ears to hear them call Biafra. Nobody is talking about Biafra. Nobody, they were busy insulting Nnamdi Kanu. Now they're asking Nnamdi Kanu for help. They were busy, even me when I started, for everybody was, oh, get out here. Oh, you go to your country. Oh, you're not full Biafra. Talking rubbish. Now everybody want to hear me out. Why? Because it's touching them directly. We need to be human. You don't need to be from Biafra for you to speak out for people that are dying. This is what we need to do. Look at all of us here. They are here. They're all foreigners, but that's talking because they are human. This is what makes us to be different with animals. You can imagine animals are better than us human beings. Have been rising international community. They don't want to say anything.
I want to kind of just touch upon what you just said about how the Islam faith is comes from the Middle East, and how a lot of these Boko Haram and I'm talking about the Islam terrorists, okay, Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen. It is true that when I studied Boko Haram, they actually, Shekau, the leader of Boko Haram, the current leader of Boko Haram, he actually looked up to al-Baghdadi. And I don't know if you remember al-Baghdadi. He was, when Trump was in office, al-Baghdadi blew himself up after we came after him and cornered him. He was like a big terrorist in the Middle East. He's an Iraqi citizen, but he was like part of a leader of a caliphate over in the Middle East. And so I agree, Mr. Uzer, because they have ties to the Middle East. It's not just, oh my gosh, Boko Haram just appeared one day in Nigeria. This goes deep, deep, deep root in the Middle East and in the radical Islam beliefs that come out of the Middle East. And also, getting back to this Gumi, or the underwear bomber, he actually had ties to Al-Qaeda. So you know that these terrorists in Nigeria, they actually have ties to actual jihadis coming out of the Middle East. So I really truly believe what you're saying, because there is evidence of that.
Yeah, they got
And
another
I don't
one
know if
called
you,
Pantami. Pantami is a
yes,
minister. He is also there. They saw the picture with all these terrorists, and he's still a minister in this government. And they don't want to
yes.
impeach. They don't want to remove him.
And I might want to switch gears for a minute if you don't need to say anything, Miss Savvy. If you want to say something real quick before I switch gears.
No, I think you said it all, so I'm
Okay.
good.
Um, I want to talk about the military and police more, because this really affects Biafrans, and I'm a voice for Biafrans as well as you guys are. The international community needs to speak out, because if Biafrans speak out, they will be killed, shot on sight. We learned that from NSARS in Yorubaland, in Lagos. We learned that in Biafra land. What happened in NSARS has been happening to Biafrans for years and years and years. Whenever they go to peacefully protest, they're shot instantly by military or police without due process, without actual crimes that they committed. So I want to talk more how the Nigerian military and police are compromised. And we have a lot of evidence of how they are compromised, because a lot of military, if you look at the military commanders and leaders, they all have Northern Fulani names, and a lot of the Nigerian government leaders have a lot of Fulani names. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Nigeria, you can kind of tell where a person comes from by their name. But I want to go on record saying that I find it very, very troubling when a military leader goes on Channels TV, and you can YouTube this. If you just YouTube, repentant Boko Haram can become president. You have a military commander on Channels TV stating that repentant military or repentant Boko Haram can be president one day and welcome in the community. And no one, when I ask questions, no one to this day has answered who watches these supposedly repentant Boko Haram that are put in the community, who watches them and monitors them. And what I'm finding, and I have evidence of, is a lot are joining the military and police and being sent down to the southeast and southwest. Now, southeast is mostly Biafra land, which are mostly Judeo-Christian or Judaism, practice Judaism in the southeast. And in Oduduwa, you have partially moderate Muslims and Christians, okay? So what I've been noticing is that overwhelming evidence of the police and the military killing people. And recently, they actually had an order to shoot people on sight in both in Imo State and River State. Can we kind of talk about more about how these military and police are compromised with terrorists?
Savi, you want to say anything?
Have you been noticing that, Miss Savvy?
Not right now.
How the evidence? I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes. So I've been noticing that I think we lost her. When she comes back, I'll repeat the question to her. But so Mr. Uzer, have you been noticing the evidence, the overwhelming evidence? Okay, there's Miss Savvy back. Okay, Miss Savvy, we've been noticing the overwhelming evidence of the Nigerian military and police being compromised by terrorists, and no one's on ground from the Nigerian government to monitor these so-called repentant terrorists, and they are being put in the community through high numbers. And how do they know what justification or how are they watching these terrorists that are repentant, on ground? Have you noticed a lot of overwhelming evidence of the military and police being compromised by terrorists.
Yes, I think this is pretty obvious. Like when you look at news coming from Biafra, what is going on? Because if they were not compromised by terrorism, then Nigerian police would be really siding with people who are fighting against terrorists. Instead, for example, when ESN was created, right, and it's up and going right now. ESN is citizens of the, and then you have Nigerian police basically just killing civilians and killing people for no reason. Like, this is completely illogical, because when you have a police in your country, they should be protecting you, citizens, and that is completely not what is happening. They are fighting with each other, So the question is why? Is because Nigerian police doesn't have an interest of people of their own country. They have an interest of terrorists.
Yes, I agree. And that's another overwhelming evidence against the Nigerian government. And to go to what you were saying, Ms. Savvy, I want to explain to people what ESN is. So ESN is a security network that was set up by the people of Biafra, the indigenous people of Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader. He is fighting for a free Biafra, free from terrorists, and trying to protect people from being slaughtered and wiped off the map of their ancestral land. So because the governors in the Southeast have failed to protect the people, and the police and the military are compromised by terrorists, the terrorists are allowed to go free in Southeast Biafra land and slaughter people at will and rape women that are going to farm. There's no one safe. So the Eastern Security Network was created by the Biafran people, indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to be specific, to help protect people so they can go to work and feel safe, because the Nigerian government is not protecting people from terrorists. They are actually harboring terrorists. So I just wanted to explain who ESN was to the international community that might be listening that don't know what's actually going on in Nigeria. Can I move on, you all, or do you all need to add something more?
Yeah, Kisa, according to what she says, she's 100% correct. And you can imagine they don't have Nigerian police. There's nothing like Nigerian police. These people you see are terrorists. These people are actually the people. The same. They are Boko Haram in uniform. These are Fulani Hazeman men that are killing people, because you see them protecting the Fulani Hazemen that are busy killing people in the bush, killing people at night. So you see when they killed Ikonso is ESN protecting his land, and they went in the middle of the night and they shot him, and they frame up like guns and everything, ammunition, as if he's the one with that. How can someone go with that sleeping? And they say they killed him in battlefield. Boy, they actually killed him in his house where he was sleeping. Okay, see what happened. And they lied about all this. And then just a station called Channel TV, because everything in Nigeria is being compromised. And they asked the IPOB what's happening. The spokesperson now explained to them that this guy was sleeping, and Nigerian police, army, and invaded his house and murdered. This is a first-degree murder. You know what the Nigerian federal government did? They find the station. They try to shut down the station. They find the station. The station all had to pay, I don't know how many million the station all got to pay. Why? This is the same people that Gomi and Pantami terrorists have been frequently the station, saying everything they want, using the mainstream media to do whatever they want. But if you say the truth, they shut you down in Nigeria. Federal government and Nigeria are terrorists. So we need to dismantle that country for people to live. Thank you.
So that leads into my next segue, and I'm going to start with you, Ms. Savvy. So he was talking about the Nigerian media, and I want to touch base on the Nigerian media and why they're not speaking out on what's going on with the people the Biafran people, the Oduduwas, because the Oduduwas now want to separate from Nigeria. And some people in the north want to separate from Nigeria because Nigeria is not working. And time after time, it's proved that year after year. So, Miss Savvy, what do you have to say about the media of Nigeria?
Well, I think that Nigerian media, they will not tell the truth and they will not pass the correct information because we already know what is their agenda. And, you know, they don't want news basically to spread to the world. But I think what is also very important is to think for us to actually figure out why other media, not Nigerian media, for example, I'm in Europe, why European media don't talk about it and they are very silent, right? Or if you have some articles somewhere on different websites, you know, and online newspapers, those articles exist, but they are very difficult to find. Unless you are not searching for Biafra, you will never get to those news. So I think this is, for me, this is what is important, and I'm wondering why it's happening and why people do not see that this is actually a problem of an international community. It's not only a problem of Biafrans, because we should really stick together in this matter, because those terrorists, those jihadists and Islamists, they will not stop. They will never be satisfied. And once they conquer one country, they will come to another country, and then they will come to another continent. And we should really, all of us, we should really realize that right now and very, very quick.
Yes, I agree. Time is of the essence. And I think some of the international community actually knows with Nigeria and they choose not to act. But I do think that the media in Nigeria, they're suppressed by the government as well, because obviously the government don't want anybody to know what they're doing to people and sponsor the media themselves. Some of them can be, you know, because they hate the Biafran people, they don't want to cover the actual what's happening to the Biafran people. And then also, I wanted to ask you, Miss Savvy, US, we've had Congressman Chris Smith specifically speak out against the Nigerian government, and some other congressmen and previous politicians. Is there anybody in the Polish government that you could go to inform them about what's going on, or have you tried that?
You know, I'm really trying to figure this out, where to go, because, you know, our government is, they have very, like, a lot of Christian values, and that for us here in Poland, you know, Christianity is very important. And I think I should be able to reach our politicians at some point. I don't know exactly, to be honest, which person exactly I would be able to reach at first, but I would definitely try. And also, there is a lot of independent media, you know, that I think they could be helpful. And this is something what I'm trying to figure out. You know, I'm in conversation, and we hope we will be able to reach our government. They really should be interested. Like, you know, like I said before, we really believe in Christian values, and this is also, you know, our problem as well. Right,
because eventually what's happening in Nigeria will our countries, because as you said, Miss Savvy, if they're successful in Islamizing more of Africa, they're going to move on to other African countries and then to Europe. And they do have ties to the Middle East, and the people in the Middle East have already gone on record, or some terrorists in the Middle East, saying that they're going to get Africa first and then move on to Europe. And we've already experienced, just for that example with Gumi and the underwear bomber, he sponsored terrorists, and the terrorists came over here to the US on a plane and tried to blow up a plane of people. So we know if we don't stop what's going on over there, it's just going to spread like a disease. Mr. Uzer, how about you and your government? Have you tried to rally anybody in your government, in the Israeli government, or any other governments?
only one that ever mentioned Biafra in UN Parliament. Nobody mouth to Biafra. So it's people they don't want to say anything. These people they have common in Nigeria. Because F from France, they're stealing from Nigeria. The British are stealing. Almost all the oil they trade in Nigeria, nobody give account of it. So they are enjoying the whole thing that is happening in Nigeria because Nigeria is in disarray. Nobody give accounts of the oil they steal, how much crude oil they got. Okay, but watch out what the British are doing. They will go to Biafra land, they dig out coal, they go to East London, they refine it, and they send the finished product to Nigeria. Everything is so expensive for them. They settle the politicians. These people are working hand in hand. So I've been writing for them, forwarding the thing with my help of my uncle. Have been writing the international community. All of them are aware of what's happening. They don't even they want to even close it down. Okay, see what the British ambassador went there to meet the politicians to calm the people down. Oh, they're going to restructure. What are you restructuring? So that people will stop talking. They're just trying to bribe people so that people will stop speaking up.
Yeah, we all know it's not going to work. It's you can't have freedom-loving democracy people mixed up with people that don't want that. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So I agree that Nigeria needs to be gone because none of the indigenous people there agreed to it to start with, and it has affected them greatly all through history, and history is constantly repeating itself. Just like when the Hausas were Fulanized, and Islamanized by the Fulani, they're moving on to other places. And, another thing that I worry about is other countries as well coming in to try to colonize, like China and other certain countries that we're seeing evidence of them buying infrastructure and buying buildings and all kinds of stuff in Nigeria. It's kind of scary for the people there. And that's why I agree with you, Miss Savvy. We have to rally around and educate people on what's going on over there. I've definitely dedicated my free time, and I kind of say I live, eat, and breathe Biafra. So I'm on a lot, and if there's anything I can do, Miss Savvy, to offer my assistance to speak to your politicians, I will offer myself up to do that. But I think our role as the international community will be important.
Yes, I think so. I think so as well, and we should definitely connect and really discuss this. It's just that because I want to reach out to our politicians here in Poland, and I was also talking to Polish people how to do it. My family members, they suggested I should actually first, before we try to reach to politicians, that we should really try to connect with church, with the Catholic Church in Poland, because they have still a lot of influence over our politics, and that's what I will be also trying to do. And
if you speak to that Catholic Church, I'm sorry, if you speak to that Catholic Church, I will be willing to go with you, even if it's a Zoom call or whatever. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Miss Savvy. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's just all I wanted to say, and I would really love to discuss this with you as well. Maybe definitely later. I will contact you and I will reach out to you because any help is appreciated. I'm also I don't always know how to get to people, so if you can help me out, that would be really great. Thank you.
Well, if anybody's from the international community that believes in being there for human beings and protecting innocent human beings' lives in Biafra and Nigeria and Biafra land especially, because I fight for the Nigerian Christians too. But I want you to contact me. You can contact me through Messenger. I read my messages. It might take me a day or so because I get a lot of messages, but I'm willing to exchange numbers, or I like to vet people before I speak to them. So I leave it through my Messenger on Facebook at Sussan Mount, or on Twitter, Sussan Mount at Sussan Mount 45. Also, I know we're limited on time. We covered a lot. I think we did a good job for our first time coming together. I just wanted to leave a final thought from each of you, if you don't mind. And then we will exit with your video, Miss Savvy, your music video that I love. And I turn up, blare it in my car to work. But if you guys want to leave a final thought for everybody.
Savvy first.
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm just trying to figure out how to put them shortly in one sentence.
Talk about your music and talk about, whatever comes to mind. We want to hear it.
Okay, so because I'm a rap artist and I express myself best throughout the music, and I will do my best to create more songs, and hopefully people will love it, and I hope we will be able to reach with my music to maybe other international audience. And this is my mission. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I have a lot of Christian brothers that do rap music underground, and believe me, your video will be reached in the US. It will be shared in the US.
Oh, and by the way, yes, let me just add something about it, because there is also let's say this kind of trend in music industry, especially in rap music industry. And if you are a female rap, and many people, they don't believe that you can make commercial international music with actually saying something meaningful. And this is my life mission, to be making internationally recognized music with something actually smart to say, instead of what usually rap music stands for. So I hope I will be able to change rap game in the good way. And that's my mission for my life.
Well, we're going to try to help you out with that, Miss Savvy. We're going to share. Okay. And Mr. Uzer, do you have a final thought before we go out with Miss Savvy's video?
Yeah, what I want to tell the world, if you see when people are passing through difficulty, just stand up and help. Help, because as our faces are different, so our talents. So we have the diverse talent. Like me, they call me user articles, but the articles is not my name. So I am gifted with pen. I write a lot. So I write life. The people say my lecturers say I can use pen and wake a dead person. So I'm using it to write life to people, for downtrodden. So I do give them hope through pen. So use your talent. Don't live and die with your talent. You're being created to use your talent to help people. Help people anywhere you are. I love what my sister said, because the secular music of these days got no meaning. They only talk about boobs, all this. What we need to save soul, because we are in this world for each other. Shalom.
And I want to remind everybody of Mr. Uzer's book. And if you want to know the exact truth behind the nation of Biafra, you need to get this book. Hopefully we can show his how to get this book if you want to get it. We also want to, he also has a charity organization. Hopefully we can show the charity organization after the video, or maybe we can share it online for everybody to see. But I just want to say one final thought before we leave, and I just want to appeal to the international community. I know there's a lot of giving, loving hearts like us that want people to be free and want people to live a good life and prosper. And we need to fight for these people, because there's a lot of genocide going on. There's a lot of torture, killings, and unbelievable things that will scar me for the rest of my life that I've saw. And I'm just appealing to the international community, because the Biafrans get killed for having a voice, and they're so brave and still raise their voice. We have free speech in our countries. We can speak and be a part of the solution to help Biafrans. So I want to appeal to the international community. You can contact me on Messenger or Twitter, or Miss Savvy or Mr. Uzer, all of us. We know how to get in touch with each other. So with that being said, we'll leave with Miss Savvy's video, and I appreciate you all for joining.
He be fearless like a lion. He's bringing back the Zion. I say shalom, salute to freedom. My muscles getting stronger, let us beat them. These movements charge them with their treason. What was their reason? Opposing evil. He's standing still in the Garden of Eden. They took the guns, now we fly like eagle. Even so, army is having diarrhea. Them shitting pants with the lack of ideas. Mazik Kanusia, say hello to Jesus. Spitting the truth, he's a tactical genius. We need revolution, enemies call him Batman, we call him solution. You know that we need him, the world needs to see him, no matter if you African, European. Ututo mama sinamdikano, ututo mama sinamdikano, heba ututo mama sinamdikano, aina astegadalu, ututo mama sinamdikano, aina astegadalu, hey, aina astegadalu. Spitting that truth like a fire. No space for nonsense, the facts can be biased. His courage is like a choir. Army of people singing, feeling inspired. No one can stop this eruption of anger. He doesn't bend to political correctness. He is the fresher, the world needs refresher. He knows which buttons to press for a pressure. Beating the truth like a fire. No space for nonsense, facts can be biased. His courage like a choir. Army is singing, feeling inspired. No one can stop this eruption of anger. He doesn't bend to political correctness. He is the fresher, we need refresher. He knows which buttons to press for a pressure.
Do you have feelings for humanity? Do you know little gestures can save a life, resettle the displaced, and give hope to the hopeless? United Humanitarian Support Initiative, NGO, is here to provide solace to the underprivileged. We pay medical bills, develop the underprivileged, provide shelters for the destitute and the homeless, provide legal aid, establish information centers, embark on community development, award scholarships, provide vocational trainings, relocate the mentally challenged to the appropriate institutions, and fight for the rights of the children, especially the girl child. We are our brother's keepers. We answer the call of Elohim. We faithfully do the work of Elohim. We said yes. Would you say yes?
I just want to talk to you today about a book that has been brought out, exposing the whole truth about Biafra. I believe there's no other resource like this around, so two authors have come together to bring this book to you guys, and this is the book here. So it's called The Truth Behind the Nation Biafra. It's by the two authors, Onyebuchi and Uzo Chukwu. You might know him as Uzo Article. So we have got this book here. This one is available all around. However, because of the cost of this like material and stuff, it may be unaffordable for some people, like people back home. So there's also been a cheaper copy made. So this one is also available as well. So make sure you get your hands on one of these books today. Thank you.